You already know that masturbation is completely normal and healthy. You've been doing it for decades, and you're absolutely right. It's a natural part of male sexuality. Every doctor will tell you it's good for prostate health and stress relief. But if you've been noticing weaker erections, softer performance, or less sensitivity than you used to feel, the way you've been masturbating might actually be training your body into erectile dysfunction. And here's what's shocking. Most men never realize they're making 4 specific mistakes that are quietly sabotaging their sexual function. I'm Dr. Avery Scott, and after over a decade as a urologist, I've sat across from hundreds of men over 50 who tell me the same story. Their erections feel softer, their orgasms feel mechanical, and they're convinced their best days are behind them. Whether they're with their partner or taking care of themselves, nothing feels the way it used to. And here's what I discovered that changed everything. It's not just age that's killing your performance. Yes, testosterone declines and blood vessels stiffen over time, but the specific habits you've built over decades are actually reshaping your nervous system, your circulation, even your hormonal response. Your brain and body are always learning. And if you've been repeating certain types of stimulation for years, you've been accidentally training your system in ways that weaken blood flow, numb sensitivity, and sabotage performance. But here's the hopeful part that most men don't realize. Just like bad training creates dysfunction, good training can restore function. The men who come back to me with incredible improvements aren't taking expensive supplements or procedures. They simply corrected 4 specific habits that were working against them. Today, I'm going to walk you through these 4 masturbation mistakes that silently cause erectile dysfunction, and more importantly, show you exactly how to fix them. Whether you're with a partner or handling things solo, once you correct these habits, you'll notice firmer erections, better sensitivity, and that powerful return of confidence you remember. Hit subscribe and that notification bell, because this is the type of raw, practical information I share to help men reclaim their sexual vitality at any age. Let's start with the most common one, and you're going to relate to this: using adult videos or images every single time you masturbate. And listen, there's nothing morally wrong with adult content. That's not what this is about. The science shows it can be part of healthy sexuality. But here's where everything starts falling apart, and this is what I explained to Robert, a 58-year-old from Dallas who couldn't understand why his erections were failing. When you constantly flood your brain with extreme on-demand stimulation, your natural arousal system stops responding to real-world cues. Your brain adapts to need that artificial level of intensity to trigger dopamine and nitric oxide, the very chemicals that kickstart arousal and blood flow. What I had Robert do was step away from screens 3 times a week and practice natural arousal instead. Use imagination, replay memories, focus on physical sensations. At first, it felt awkward and weaker. That's normal detox. But within 3 weeks, his sensitivity rebounded dramatically. Erections became easier and arousal felt natural again. The key is retraining your most powerful sexual organ, your brain. Now, speaking of training, let's talk about edging. And this might surprise you. Edging itself isn't bad. When done properly, it builds stamina, increases control, and can make climax more intense. The research actually supports this, but here's where men destroy their sexual function without realizing it. They push themselves right to the cliff edge, then slam on the brakes. Again and again, sometimes for over an hour. This is exactly what was happening with Michael, a 62-year-old from Phoenix, who came to me frustrated because he could barely finish anymore. I explained to him what happens biologically. One moment, you're demanding maximum arousal, the next, you're stopping abruptly. Your pelvic floor muscles get exhausted. Your nerves stop firing normally, and oxygen delivery to erectile tissue drops. The method I taught Michael was balanced edging. Don't push to the absolute brink. Pull back earlier while you're still in control. Limit sessions to 15 to 20 minutes. Always allow natural release so your body completes the cycle it's designed for. Michael called me after 2 weeks reporting stronger, more sustainable erections than he'd had in years. This brings us to timing, and this is where I see the biggest disconnect between what worked in your 20s and what works now. Back then, you had sky-high testosterone, flexible blood vessels, and razor-sharp nerves. You could rush to climax and bounce back effortlessly, and you're absolutely right to remember that. But after 50, everything changes. Blood vessels stiffen, testosterone dips, and nerve endings lose sensitivity. So when you rush now, your erectile tissue never fully fills with blood. Oxygen delivery gets cut short, and weakened tissue is the result. This was the breakthrough moment for James, a 55-year-old from Seattle, who was getting frustrated with weak, short-lived erections. I walked him through the solution that changed everything. Slow down deliberately. Focus on deep breathing. Inhale through your nose, slow exhale through your mouth. This boosts nitric oxide and relaxes blood vessels. Pay attention to releasing muscle tension instead of clenching. Let arousal build gradually like a slow fire. When James started doing this, his erections became firmer because they were supported by full blood flow. Climax felt richer and more powerful. Every time you slow down, you're retraining your system for strength. Finally, let's address what might be the most damaging habit of all, the death grip, using very tight pressure and fast friction. And I get it. In the moment, it feels intense and gets results quickly. But here's what's happening biologically that's sabotaging your sexual function. Constant compression reduces blood flow, nerves adapt to harsh stimulation, so natural touch no longer registers, and erections become harder to maintain while pleasure feels muted. This was destroying David's confidence. A 60-year-old from Miami who could finish solo but struggled completely with his partner. I guided him through the retraining process that restored his natural sensitivity. Use a lighter touch, even if it feels less intense initially. Vary your strokes, rhythm, and technique. Use lubrication to reduce friction and protect the tissue. Think of this as rehabilitation for your nerves. David felt like it was weaker at first, but within 3 weeks, his sensitivity rebounded dramatically. Erections became easier, pleasure felt richer, and intimacy felt natural again. So here's your complete roadmap for restoring your sexual function. You were right that masturbation is healthy. You just needed the strategic approach that actually supports your body instead of working against it. Step away from constant screen stimulation and retrain your natural arousal system. Practice balanced edging, not exhausting marathon sessions. Slow down and breathe, letting your circulation do its job properly. Lighten your touch and use lubrication to rehabilitate nerve sensitivity. Pick one approach and execute it consistently for the next 2 weeks. Track the changes in firmness, sensitivity, and satisfaction. Most of my patients see dramatic improvements when they stop training their bodies wrong and start training them right. Now, if you want to take this transformation even further and address the mental side that multiplies these physical improvements, Here's how I can help you. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on because this is exactly the type of raw practical information I share to help men reclaim their sexual vitality and confidence at any age. I'll be following up with advanced techniques that combine these physical methods with psychological strategies. But if you want the really explicit content about sexual confidence, performance psychology, and advanced techniques that I simply can't share on YouTube due to platform restrictions, you need to join my Senior Men Club weekly newsletter. Our upcoming edition reveals the mental exercises that can make any man feel sexually dominant again, regardless of age. It's going to be detailed, explicit, and too raw for YouTube. So it's reserved exclusively for club members. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Try these methods and watch your confidence return. Then come back and comment. Which mistake were you making? What changes did you notice? And what surprised you most about this approach? Your experience could help another man finally get the results he's been missing. Remember, you're not broken, you're not too old, and your best days are absolutely not behind you. You just needed to stop training your body wrong and start training it right. I'm Dr. Avery, and I'll see you in the next one.